Hi guys, and welcome to my channel Blue Ocean Crafts, and today we are going to be making this gift box holder which is big enough to fit a large bottle of wine or ginger beer. I've made it for gin as well, and this is what this actually contains. And it's great because it is self-expanding to fit the bottle, and each side for the lid and the base is 8 inches high. So to open it, all you do is just take the ribbon off the top and the ribbon off the bottom, and then just slide it open, and there you have it, your bottle. Unfortunately, this is nearly empty. So with today's project, we're actually going to be using the Forever Greenery Designer Series paper, the Forever Fern Cling Stamp set, and the coordinating dies, the Forever Flourishing dies. So these work really well together. And then I'm going to be using a different sheet of the Designer Series paper packet compared to this one. I'm going to be using this continuous simple leaf print pattern with the coordinating colour Pretty Peacock for the base, and the lid is again Whisper white cardstock. So with the finishing sizes of the paper, it's going to measure 12 inches with 8 inches high, and you can see I've already cut this one to the measurements with scores as well. So we're going to do exactly the same for the lid. So now we are going to cut the cardstock and score it. So the cardstock itself measured 12 inches along the long side, 8 inches high. So I'm going to use the paper trimmer, and I'm just going to take it to the 8 inches mark, make sure it's level, close the flap, and just score. There you go. So then, using the scoring tool, I'm going to be scoring this at 1 3/8, 2 6/8, 4 1/8, 5 1/2, 6 7/8, 8 1/4, 9 5/8, and 11 inches. And then you're going to flip it around, score it alongside, add 1 1/2 all the way down. So I will be putting both the imperial and metric measurements on the blog website. So there you have it. 8 sides and 1 spare for the tab just to join the box together. If you do any burnishing, what we're actually going to be doing is going to flip it around, and we are going to be drawing a diagonal line between the top left hand corner and the bottom right hand corner. It's going to be your glue guide line. It's going to make it a little bit easier just to get the box all leveled up. So I've flipped the paper around. There you go. So just make sure you ensure that it does actually line up, because it will affect how you glue the box together, and you don't want the box to be twisting. And there you have it. So now we are going to do the burnishing side. So I flipped the paper around again, and I'm just going to fold and burnish all of these score lines. So that is all your lines burnished, and now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut along these lines just up to the 1.5 inch mark, and we're going to cut away this rectangle tab. Right, let's get started cutting. There you go. That's all your box assembled and cut. Not assembled, we're going to be assembling that in the next step. Now we're going to make the side panels. So now we're going to get our design series paper, and we are going to be cutting it at 15.8 centimeters high via 2.9 centimeters. So got my lovely piece of Forever Greenery DSP. Absolutely in love with this paper, and it is from our new annual catalogue. If you wanted to find out more about this suite, which is the Forever Greenery, please feel free to contact me, or all the links are available on my blog for available to purchase as well. Just score that. I'm going to keep that one for later for the gift tag. And then we're going to be doing it at 2.9 centimeters high, or width, sorry. Now if you're using a pattern piece of DSP and you wanted to keep the flow of the pattern to follow the same as the box as it's going around, little tip: when you're cutting your piece of paper, turn it over and write the number on the back, and that way you know the order of the panels in which you're sticking them in. So we're going to be cutting 8 panels. Just numbering on the back. Now we're going to assemble these panels onto the box. So what I like to do is use, flip them all over so you can see the numbers, and I'm just going to use some liquid glue, just because it gives you a little bit more time to get these panels in the correct position. So a little bit on the back. This is where it's fun to pick up, and you get glue all over your hands by accident. So I'm just going to stick that in the middle, make sure it's in alignment, and push down. So now we're going to do some assembly of the box. So what we're going to do is we're going to put some liquid glue along this long tab here. Flip it over. Careful not to get glue everywhere. And then I'm just going to close it so it meets, making sure I line it all up. And then push firmly. And there you have the box closure. So now what we're going to do is we're going to glue the tabs down. And this is where it's really handy for the glue lines. Just going to push it down a little bit more and leave it to dry. So I'm going to come back to that one in a minute. So I'm going to do the same exactly for this one. I'm going to close it this time. I'm pushing quite firmly on this just to make sure it doesn't stick well. And there you have that one done. Now I'm going to go back to the lid, and that should be dry by now. I'm going to put just a little bit more there. And so what we're going to do is find out where the back of the box is. So that's where the two tabs overlap and join. I'm just going to put some liquid glue, just a little bit, on the right hand triangle. And then you're going to get your flap next door, and you're going to line it up so that line, that edge there, follows your pre-done line. Now what I'm doing here is I'm just holding it just so it kind of goes a bit tacky and dries. I'm just holding it a little bit just to kind of make sure it sticks. And if you've got a little bit of glue spillage, just get a little bit of waste cardstock and just wipe out the excess. And then once that's ready and a little bit dry, exactly the same, a little bit of glue, stick it down and just do it so the side meets the line, and just push down. And you want to follow that all the way around with one side overlapping until you get to the last tab. And there you have it. The lid should form the octagon in the middle. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be using one of the layering circles dies to cut out and stick on the top for covering the hole and also for giving it a little bit more strength. So I'm going to do exactly the same for the base. So for now, once the sides have all dried, we are going to be closing the holes and supporting the lid and the base using the layering circles dies. So what I've done here is I've cut the second largest scallop in Pretty Peacock for the lid, the second largest plain circle in Pretty Peacock for the base, so that's that one done. And then just for a decoration on the top, I've used the next circle down out of the leaf designer series paper, and then that's going to be stuck on the top. So let's get some sticking. So I'm using liquid glue again, and I'm just going to go in a spiral just around. I'm going to stick that in the centre. Just make sure it's all nicely and aligned. And then to push it in, you can use your hands, or easiest way is the bottle that you're actually wrapping, and just push it down. Just make sure that circle hasn't moved. So I'm going to glue the designer series paper one on first. Glue that into the centre of the scallop. And then glue that. Onto the top. Again, making sure it's in the centre. Right, so now we've got the top and the bottom sealed and it's dry. So what we're going to do now is punch the holes in the side. So to locate the back, so it's the one that's got the tab folded and stuck on the inside, and you want to punch your holes on the sides which are not diagonal but they're in vertical alignment with the side of the octagon. So that one and that one. And what you're going to do is take a ruler and measure 3.5 from the middle of, sorry, the bottom of the base, and then you want to measure 1 and 7.5 from the centre. And then you're going to get, I am using the retired hole punch, but you can get these online or from a craft store. So I'm just going to put this in the punch, line it up, put it in the centre, punch through, and then do exactly the same on the other side. And then you can just erase your pencil marks. We are going to thread the ribbon, and this is part of the Forever Greenery suite. So what I'm going to do is 1, 2, 2 arms lengths worth, and just give it a trim. So I'm just twisting this to make sure it threads through the hole, and I'm threading from the outside of the hole in. So one side, and then keeping your ribbon straight. Just twisting the edges. And again, feeding it from the inside. So just straightening up your ribbon so it doesn't have a twist in it. And that is the lid and base done for now. So now we're going to make the tag. So first we'll get your pretty peacock cardstock, and we're going to measure it with 13 centimeters times 4.8. So just get my guillotine. Move the ruler out of the way. See if it gets in the way. So 13 centimeters times 4.8. And that's at 4.8. Don't know why I bought this one. Leave that to one side. And I'm using the scalloped tag topper. So I'm just going to open it. I'm going to feed it in front and reverse, just so you can see where it needs to line up. Make sure it's in the centre. punch, and that's one part of your tag done. So now we're going to cut the designer series paper. And this is going to measure 10.5. Sorry, 4.2. And then 10.5 along the long way. Again, I'm going to punch this. So line it up, feed it through, make sure it's in the centre. Punch it, get rid of the excess. And then, as you can see here, it's slightly too long. So what we then do is we're going to be trimming it, and we're going to trim the tag base to 10.5. Other way around. So the easiest way to do this is make sure the centre of the tag bit lines up. And then the the designer series paper, that's going to be trimmed to 9.8. So if you're struggling to see it, just place a ruler where you need to go. So that's, and then you can easily just line it up. And then that is perfectly centered. So I'm just going to use some liquid glue to glue these together. And then the scallop tag punch hole in the middle is just going to slightly overlap with the designer series paper when you centre it, but it's still going to be a hole big enough to thread the ribbon through. So I'm just making sure I've lined it up. And if you end up going too much glue on your work, just get a scrap piece of paper, cardstock, and just gently tease the leftover glue out. Make sure it's all centered. Just pushing it down. And that is your tag base done. So now we're going to be stamping the images and doing a little hello embossing. So hi guys, we are now ready to stamp the leaves, ready for the tag. I've got my leaves of choice mounted on a block, so I've got a D block, a C, C, and a H block. So these are great because they're really nice and chunky and they've got the groove, and you can use them both sides. They do come in a bundle and you get 10% off, or you can buy them individually as well. So let's go ahead and stamp the lovely eucalyptus, I would say, and pretty peacock. I just gently dab the ink onto the stamp. Stamp with the paper getting attacked. I'm just going to clean my ink pad. So I've got the stamping scrub and the stamping mist. So I'm going to gently scrub the stamp across the place and then stamp it on the dry side. And then I'm going to do the smaller leaf set, if I can get this one open, in Old Olive. then the last leaf in Shaded Spruce. So I'm just stamping this onto Whisper White cardstock. Now while the ink's still wet, what I'm going to do is using an aqua painter, I'm just going to go over the ink just to bleed it out a bit and create that watercolour effect. So now I'm just going to grab some Pretty Peacock. We're going to grab the Hello stamp, mount that onto the block, I'm going to stamp that in first mark. And then I've got my embossing white ink. Scrap piece of paper. Flicking from the back, some powder. Emboss this. One heat embossed hello, and I'm just going to punch it out using the tag. Just level it up, make sure it's in the centre. Punch. And then I'm going to feed it through the other side, pull it out, make sure it's level and in the centre. So now these are dry, I'm going to just die cut them out, and I'm going to use the Forever Flourishing dies. So I need that one, and is this going to be the right one? No, it's not. It's that one. So if you don't have the magnetic platform for the big shot, use a little bit of tape. Just to kind of match the dies to the outline. And secure. We have got exciting new die cut machine coming, and it is Stampin' Up made as well. It looks adorable. We've got a big one coming out and a mini, and that is going to be available soon. As soon as I have a date, I will let you guys know. But I cannot wait because my big shot is on its way out. Last one. So I shall be back once with these all die cut. So I am back with the die cut leaves and also one of the gold hoop embellishments when I can get my words out. So now we are going to attach all of these to the tag. So to secure the hoop, place it where you want to place it first, and then start off with the largest leaf in the centre of the hoop, just off centred, and then you can kind of work out, you want to put a dimensional either side of the leaf and it will help it score it into place. So I'm using the mini dimensional, so what I'm doing is I'm just planning where I'd like it to go. Get the first one in, and then put one underneath, and when you come to secure it, you can see it will hold it, the hoop, in place in between the two dimensionals. So that's one leaf done, and now we're going to do this one. So exactly the same, plan where you want your leaf to go, and if it crosses over here, what I do is I stick a mini glue dot on the back of that leaf where it overlaps. So I want a dimensional there. One just below it. On the top. A couple more at the bottom. So, and that's two of the leaves done, and last one. We're going to put dimensional there, and maybe there, and then I'm going to put a couple of glue dots. One there, one there, and one there. No, it doesn't work, nails are better. There you go, 1, 2, and I've got one of the gold embellishments from the set as well, so I'm just sticking that. Plan where you want it first, so there, and then stick it down. And then it is secure as well. Now for the hello. Plan where you want this to go. And I'm going to use dimensionals just to hold it in place. Make sure your hello is the right way up, and here's where you want it. Sure that it's straight. And that is your tag done. And we're going to use some of the golden thread. Tag by paper. So I'm just going to use just over 1/100 worth. Trim that down. Thread it through. And then put it through. So then to assemble your bottle, get your base, bottle in, have this bit over the centre, or around the edge, sorry. Close the lid, and then you just gently want to tease all of the sides in. It's a tight fit with this bottle because the neck is wider, just slightly. So what I'm doing is just gently pushing all of these sides in. It's a bit fiddly, but it is worth it in the end. There you go. So very snug fit, very secure, and then I'm just going to pull, make sure my ribbon is straight and no twist. If it is twisted, you can just pull it out. I'm going to go and gently pull both the ends. If it does get twisted, you can just pull it out. And as you can see, it's not quite level, so just pull it. And you can see this is a very big box. Just going to gently tighten up. Find my tag. Just tie the two ends together in a small knot. Just making sure that you've got all of the strings on this because it does like to separate. So yeah, here's your tag, and then thread it through hole, and then just do a little bow on top of it. This ribbon feels so soft. Love this one. And there you have it. So neaten up the edges, fold them over together, get your scissors, and then just cut both of them diagonally. Neaten up, and there you have it. One gorgeous wine gift box holders, complete with little Forever Greenery gift tags. So which pattern do you prefer? I still love this one just with all the details of the leaves, but this one I love for the simplicity as well. So there you go, check it out. Thank you very much for watching, guys, and hope to see you soon on my next crafty advent. Cheers for now, bye.